Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here at weatherweb.net. It's Tuesday the 14th of July. Thanks again for watching. This is your look ahead video, actually recorded for the second time because the first time there was no sound on the video for some reason. Technology, isn't it? It's such a wonderful thing. Anyway, if you need a fast forecast for the next couple of days, then click on Gary's fast forecast at weatherweb.net and that will give you all the information that you need. Now, we got Typhoon Nanko, which is currently south of Japan. A great satellite image there. Showing the typhoon heading its way gradually north-northwestwards into Japan, expected to make landfall in Japan overnight Thursday into Friday. Speeds at the moment forecast to be peaking at around 125 knots, and the Pacific overall really has now become very, very active, and that's where most of the action in terms of typhoons and / hurricanes are going to be during the next week or so. So certainly it's going to be an area that we need to watch. Just been looking at some of the predictions for August so far. Just zoom in on there. This is the Beijing Climate Center forecasting 10-day steps. There's been a lot of talk about heat waves at the end of the month, and several of you have mentioned to me today on the Weather Live service about the possibility of heat wave at the end of the month. Well, I think the newspapers you've read it in are really more interested in selling lots of copies rather than giving you an actual forecast as to what's going to happen. It's complete, well, actually, no, it's not. It's complete rubbish. That's what I meant to say. And really, there aren't any signs of that at all. If there is a heat wave, believe me, it's through sheer fluke rather than anything else. These are the 10-day steps from the Beijing Climate Center. Excuse me, from the 16th to the 25th, and you notice here, look, quite a marked trough, lower than normal heights through the UK expected during these dates. From the 26th of July until the 4th of August, they've still got this idea of a trough. They're starting to shift it off further towards the east. They've got a ridge building off towards the west there, and then from the 5th to the 14th, they have this idea, look, of the ridge starting to build in through the country. Still got the trough up towards northern Scotland, but they really do want to start building in around about the 5th or the 6th of August, bringing some better conditions around those dates. And then from the where are we? No, that was as far as I was going to get. They're building in, as I say, that ridge coming in across the country, trying to get that high in. Now, just a second, let's just show you the other chart for that one. Where are we? Oh, it was that chart. Yeah, it was that chart. There we go, showing the ridge building in. Now, compare that to the CFS, and CFS just got to twist your head a little bit of this. Week 1, 14th to 20th, have got the higher than normal heights to the south, lower than normal heights towards the north, more of a west to northwesterly flow overall. Week 2 on the CFS looking like this. Higher than normal heights starting to build down towards the southwest. It wants to build a ridge through the country during this period. It wants to start improving conditions. And then from the 28th until the 3rd, it wants to get these higher than normal heights in across all parts of the country, bringing more settled conditions. It sees the high building, and then for week 4, from the 4th until the 10th, it keeps it in there, keeps us under high pressure conditions. Now, I think what's going on here is that the CFS, because remember it's based on the same dynamics as the GFS, and one of the features of the GFS is that it's biased towards bringing in systems too quickly. So it tries to change over the pressure regime too quickly. Now the Beijing guys are building that high. They see that high building, but make it the early stages into the middle stages of August before the high starts to build. And I think that's where we're going to be. I think the CFS is just too quick. The CFS is too quick on getting in. This may be a pattern by the end of July, perhaps, with that high towards the west and more of a west to northwesterly flow. And indeed, it may be that turns out to be the pattern during the very early stages of August. But if you compare that with the Beijing Climate Center, you see effectively this is very similar to this. If you look, we've got a trough across Scandinavia, ridge across the UK, trough down here off the southwestern parts of Europe. And then just compare that to what the Beijing Climate Centre want to do. There's the ridge look through the UK. There's the trough across Europe. So you see the ideas are very similar. It's just that the CFS wants to bring it in a lot quicker. And our ideas really are going up to the end of July that we're staying fairly mixed conditions. Not a washout by any means, but fairly mixed conditions. A high buggeration factor basically, because we're going to be finding days when, you know, we get 2-3 dry days, but then it rains. We don't get huge amounts of rainfall, but it's annoying quantities of rain. I think that's the way this is going to kind of hang on up until the early stages of August, and then we may well find higher pressure building in. ECMWF32 has gone for, as well, for the idea of some high pressure building in right at the end of the month and into the early part of August. So we do need to be watching out for that. And then it could be that heading into those middle stages of August may not be too bad actually. The excuse me, the overall prediction for autumn was that high pressure would be centred off more towards the north of the country. And I tend to think that may be the way that it goes. This whole high down here may be a little bit too far south. It may come a little bit further north. But generally, there are these hints of pressure tending to want to build. I wouldn't make it a super month by any means. And it's probable that if that high does get in at the beginning, it won't be there for very long. But the signs are certainly there of something starting to build. Of course, it could all change. We're talking long-range forecasting here. So it could all change, but that's how things are looking just at the moment. So I'll leave you with that for now, but whatever you're doing, thanks again for watching. Keep the sun shining, and bye for now.